Bo Burnham is my favorite modern comedian, honestly one of my favorites of all time. His specials mean a lot to me and he's a massive idol of mine, so I really wanted to show my love for them by ranking them today. And keep in mind, I love them all. I think that they are all fantastic specials in many different ways, and they all hold a special place in my heart, but I also have to say I've only seen Words once. I watched it for the first time today, but the other 3 specials I've each seen twice, okay? So I rewatched them over the past few days, and I mean, I just love them all. That's just the honest truth. I love them all, but let's get into the ranking. Coming in last place, we have his first special from 2010, Words. Now listen, the fact that he wrote and performed this at 19 years old just blows my mind. I think he would either be 19 or 20. I think he was 19 when he performed this, and it's just utterly crazy. It features some of my favorite songs by him, which are like Oboe, Rant, I really love Rant, Words, and then of course the classic Art is Dead. That song just says so much. But not only are the songs, or at least most of them, really great here, but the actual stand-up aspect of it kind of takes over. It's more so stand-up and then music, whereas the other ones are kind of music with stand-up in it, if that makes sense. And I think the stand-up really pushed the line, but it always worked for me. I'm not one who typically gets offended, and I didn't get offended here, but I can see that there are many things that are very controversial to say, but I'm just glad he had the balls to do it. There's a few reasons this one fell into last place, and one of the main things is that it didn't impact me as much as the other ones, and maybe that it's just because I've seen it once. It didn't really resonate with me as much as the other ones. It did, definitely, but not nearly as much as the other 3, and that's why I think it is his weakest. And of course I have to give him credit for doing it at such a young age, but you can definitely tell that he was improving on more things as his career went along. Not every joke landed here, and there are a few times where it feels a little bit dragged out to about an hour, but I will say it features some of his best wordplay. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it yet. Now honestly, 3 and 2 could really just switch back and forth. Like, I've had a really hard time deciding which I like more. I mean, the entire list is pretty difficult, but these 2 especially, I just kept flipping, but this is my final decision. But with that being said, getting the bronze medal here is Make Happy. I know this is a lot of people's favorite of his, and I absolutely love it. It was my introduction to his stand-up, and there are definitely things I knew about him. Like, obviously I know his really big Vine, and there are even a few jokes from Words that I knew, and I knew some of the songs like Left Brain, Right Brain, but this was the first comedy show that I watched from him. I had already seen 8th Grade. I love 8th Grade so much, and Promising Young Woman, he's really good in the movie. But about 2 months ago, my friend from work, Isaac, recommended it to me. He just said, oh yeah, this is really funny, and he'd seen it a million times, and he's very good at music, so he knows a bunch of the songs here, and he recommended that I watch it. I went home later that night, I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't love it on first watch, but I did really like it, but it just kept growing on me more and more and more, and that's how it was with the 3 Netflix specials. They all have just stuck with me and really grown on me more and more and more. I think it has the most impressive ending out of all of the specials with Can't Handle This, just the lighting, everything he does with like the pedals in front of him, and you see he's switching, and, you know, with the auto-tune and everything, it just blows my mind. And there's definitely lots of things here that I quote. I mean, come on. Pringles, if you're watching, fix your cans. I already used that joke in my inside review. Never mind. Also, songs like Lower Your Expectations, Can't Handle This, and of course Straight White Male all fall into my top 10 favorite of his. I also love how he messes with the audience, and it shows how good he is at parody with songs like Country Song. Obviously, he's just kidding about country songs and how they all sound similar now, and there's lots of things, and the way he sings it, the tone of his voice, the way that the music's played out sounds exactly like a hit country song. I'm not a fan of country music, if you can't tell. But going back to what I said about the audience, one of my favorite parts is when he's getting like the call and response, your peanut butter and jelly, salt and vit, and then, like, you know, the lights come on, he's like, get them.
Our favorite chips, salt and vit. Wow. Who said it? Get the cameras on them. Your grandkids are gonna see this. Know what a bigot their grandfather or grandmother were. Every non-white person, see who said that. Find him after the show.
Your kids are gonna see this. All that's really great. Or when he's walking around and he goes to sit down at the piano and everybody's cheering, he goes, no, fuck you all, and then he just leaves because he's like, you don't know what I'm doing. It's honestly really great, and the only reason it is below the other ones is because the other ones impacted me more, and that's something that you'll hear me say a lot in this video, but on rewatch, I would call this one a flawless performance. Our runner-up is the newest special from Bo, and that is Inside. A lot of people consider this to be his best, and there are many reasons I can see why people say that. I honestly considered putting it at number 1, but I will explain why. Obviously, my number 1 is at that place, but the fact that he wrote, shot, directed, acted, and edited all this himself is just mind-blowing to me. Not only do we get some great songs like Welcome to the Internet, Sexting, Unpaid Intern, and then of course my favorite comedic song from this one, White Woman's Instagram, but we also do get some real emotion here, and there's some really emotional stuff that happens in this special, and I feel like it's the one that really left the most impact on me here. Both times I watched this, I actually laid in bed for over 2 hours after it finished, and I just could not stop thinking about it. It just really stuck in my head, and I feel so connected to this one especially because look at what I'm doing right now. I said this in my review of it, but look at what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting in my room making a video and hoping that I'm entertaining people. And what did Bo do like 12, 15 years ago? The exact same thing, and I feel like that's what's really special. One of my favorite shots from it, it's gorgeous, like the cinematography is just gorgeous here, and it's all shot by Bo, but it's when he's looking up at the screen and you just kind of see the back of him, and he's a silhouette, and then you just see him watching his YouTube videos. It really gave me chills. And my favorite song in this one, spoilers for list coming soon, is Funny Feeling. That song really hit me, and out of everything from the special, that moment really just, it didn't leave my mind. And I'm learning that song on guitar, so maybe it's partially that, but there's something about it where if you totally understand the song, it will probably break you. And if you don't understand, how's it feel being happy? It definitely grew on me on rewatch. I just could not stop thinking about it. As I said, it just missed out on the top spot because coming in at number 1, we have What? What takes the gold medal, and it is my favorite Bo Burnham special. Honestly, it might be my favorite comedy special of all time. On rewatch, it just skyrocketed to number 1 just because there's so much about it to love. Everything in this I adore. There is not a moment wasted here, from of course the iconic left brain and right brain to hashtag deep to repeat stuff. Everything from this show is just perfect. I have a lot of it memorized, but it's not only the comedy songs that really hit, because there's also like the stand-up parts that are really great, because of course we have poems and we have the amazing Andy the Frog story, which is just one of my favorite like bits of comedy ever. It's just flawless. Also, this show features my 2 favorite songs by Bo. They're probably 2 of, if not his biggest songs, and that is From God's Perspective and of course Sad. They're just like perfectly constructed comedic songs, and I love the way he expresses his opinion on religion or sexualities and everything like that, and how of course he messes with the audience here too. Every single detail is thought out perfectly, and I just adore the ending here. It looks physically exhausting, and when I rewatched it, I was still in shock. I mean, the first time I was like, whoa, but then when he's doing it again, he's going up the octaves, he's going like on 2. It's just mind-blowing. I really love the way he's able to memorize everything because it makes it feel like so much more than a comedy show. It makes it seem like a real performance, and the way he plays around with pre-recorded sound is amazing, and that's what makes What my favorite Bo Burnham special. But what is your favorite one? Tell me in the comments down below. Are you one that has Inside as your favorite? I know a lot of people did. I posted a poll earlier today on my community tab, and Inside is winning by quite a lot. Again, this list was very hard to make, but these are my picks. You may have a totally different list, but please let me know all them down below. And where does like 8th grade and Promising Young Woman and all that rank amongst these? I'm really interested, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.